Guys, Sean Strickland's days of being a champion may be numbered. He may only have that belt for the next 7 days, but have no fear, win or lose, he's still going to be a star. This guy's not going anywhere. I think he's going to assume the role of a Nate Diaz type of fighter in the UFC that doesn't need to win in order to have a serious fan base. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing him to Nate Diaz, a man that was never a champion. What Sean Strickland's been able to accomplish is elite. But he will not beat Dricus Du Plessis. No, he will not go home with that belt. And I think that what a lot of people are going to find out next Saturday is that beating Robert Whittaker, a man that's been dominant on top of that middleweight division for so many years, is just a little bit better than beating Adesanya. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong. We're about to see the two best middleweights go at it. And I really believe that. No matter who wins this fight, these are the two best middleweights on the planet. I'm not foolish enough to debate you on whether or not Izzy's been on top for the middleweight division. He has. He's been on top of this division for a while. But I can't say he's been dominant. Robert Whittaker is a bit of a different story. And history tells me that if you beat Robert Whittaker, you become a champion. All right? History tells me that if you beat Adesanya, well, it doesn't always happen. Just look at Robert Whittaker in the rematch. Okay? He didn't get that belt. Total robbery. Yoel Romero, he didn't get that belt. But you beat Robert Whittaker, well, congratulations. You get yourself a belt. All right? Now, listen. We got to talk about this because all jokes aside, it's so funny how the Sean Strickland fan base, and I know them well because I'm a Sean Strickland fan too. On one hand, these guys will tell you, we'll be bantering back and forth. Yeah, he's overrated. He ain't even that good. He's lost 5 out of his last 10 fights. But as soon as it comes to Strickland and his win over Adesanya, he outstruck the best striker in UFC history, right? Again, we'll be going back and forth. Yeah, 2 leg kicks around. He's overrated. Boxing's not that great. Whittaker beat him in the rematch. Yoel got the jump on him. As soon as it comes to Strickland, though, they go nuts for it. It brings tears to my eyes. All right? Now, I understand it. Sean Strickland wasn't supposed to be here. I get it. He has a sob story. He has a beautiful story. I'm not actually joking on this. He actually has a very inspirational story. But I think people get it a little bit twisted. Because as far as I'm concerned, when you beat Izzy, it's not exactly something that is that special anymore. And yeah, I understand there are going to be some people in the comments that are saying, how dare you? How dare you? Strickland wasn't supposed to be there. He was a statistic. Okay, I get it. All right? But just join the club. Blachowicz is there. Pereira's there. Yoel's there. Whittaker's there. Strickland, come on in. Beating Izzy is not something that's just impossible to do. He's not exactly Mr. Untouchable anymore. And I'm sick and tired of people acting like he is. Robert Whittaker has actually instilled fear into the hearts of his opponents at middleweight and made people question their careers. Look at what Jared Cannonier did to Marvin Vettori. Landed a significant strikes record on his chin. Look at what Robert Whittaker did to Marvin Vettori. He made him accept defeat. And Marvin Vettori is one stubborn, block-headed man that just won't always accept that he loses. He thought he beat Izzy in the rematch. I thought Izzy clearly won, but the point is, it wasn't dominant enough for Marvin to get it through his head. Whittaker made that man take time off. Whittaker made Kelvin Gastelum question his career as an MMA fighter. Kelvin Gastelum and Izzy, they put on one of the best fights of all time. I love that fight, but it was competitive. Jared Cannonier and Adesanya had a competitive fight. Whittaker, he clearly beats him. So once again, Sean Strickland beating Israel Adesanya is a phenomenal win. But people conflate it with the idea that he wasn't supposed to be here. He was supposed to be a statistic. And they're so proud of Sean Strickland for accomplishing something that they just want to make sure the whole world hears it. And that's why he's everyone's fighter of the year, even though he beat Abus Magomedov, who's not even a top 10,000 fighter of all time. All right? Even though he just got past Imavov, who's just a regular run-of-the-mill ranked guy, and he beat Izzy, who, as I just said, joined the club. All right? This is not the Izzy on top award, the cherry on top, you get the fighter of the year if you beat Izzy. No, it's about who did the best work. And I do believe Sean Strickland did better work than Dricus Du Plessis, who just beat Robert Whittaker and Derek Brunson. All right? Brunson's not the best win ever. But Dricus Du Plessis is a tough matchup for Sean Strickland, and that's ultimately why I wanted to make this video. He will beat Sean Strickland. He'll put him on the back foot, and he will knock him out. He will knock him out. And that's the only chance he has. All right? So this is where it gets interesting. Now, this is what scares me about this matchup, guys. What scares me most is that I don't believe Sean Strickland is going to get subbed. I don't believe he's going to get ragdolled. Everyone's talking about Dricus Du Plessis and how he's built different. He may be. All right? He's got that farmer strength. He took down Robert Whittaker. And he may take down Sean Strickland. I just don't think he'll have any success there, man. Strickland has the perfect mentality for getting up to his feet. Sean Strickland is an animal when it comes to wrestling. If you hear stories about how good his takedown defense is in the gym, or you just watch his fights, nobody keeps this man down. The last guy to be able to do it was Kamaru Usman. That was years ago, more than 5. He's got a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He always gets up to his feet. He has good takedown defense to begin with, and he's much bigger than Robert Whittaker. I don't think Dricus Du Plessis is going to have success on the ground. I really do believe in order for him to win this fight, he needs a KO, whereas Sean Strickland, I think Sean Strickland can win by KO. I think Sean Strickland can win by decision. I think Sean Strickland can win by submission. Now, I'm not saying Dricus can't submit Strickland. I'm just saying it won't happen. All right? Sean Strickland is one of the best defensive fighters in the world right now, grappling or striking. But it's going to be tough to make it happen. I just know that when Sean Strickland is on the back foot, there are holes in his game. He may be hard to hit, but it's his lack of offense that'll lead to his demise. History tells me that Sean Strickland gets put on the back foot by people that have wicked power. All right, let's name the guys that Sean Strickland's beating. Nasruddin Imavov, Abu Smagomedov. Right off the bat, we have one guy that's not even a top 10,000 fighter of all time that isn't even cut out to be in the UFC. Let's scratch him in Abus. The other guy that we have is Nasruddin Imavov, who's a slick striker, who's light on his feet. All right, he reminds me of a Cyril Gahn in a lighter weight class, but he's not known for having heavy hands. Israel Adesanya, weaker boxing. He can knock anyone out if he lands the right counter strike, but weaker boxing. If you check the low kicks and you get out of the first 2 rounds where he's at his most explosive and he's got that fast twitch ability and that awkward timing, well, you're going to do just fine. But Adesanya is not known for big, heavy hands, okay? He's a precision guy. All right, and his boxing, as I said, it's not great. It's not great. But Dricus's boxing isn't great either. But let's continue down the list. Pereira, heavy-handed guy, knocks Strickland out. Jared Cannonier, heavy-handed guy, gives Strickland issues. Kamaru Usman, heavy-handed guy, gives Strickland issues. When guys have the ability to mix it up, Cannonier has the ability to mix it up to the body, has a high fight IQ, good level of pressure, heavy power. He puts Strickland on the back foot. Strickland's demise, lack of output. Kamaru Usman, heavy-handed, piston-like jab, has the ability to mix in the takedowns. Put Strickland on the back foot. What's Strickland's demise? Lack of output. Sean Strickland is a downhill fighter. That's where he's most comfortable. He just resorts to defense and defense only on the back foot, and I don't think he has any of those sting pullback counters. All right, I don't think he's got that fast twitch, pull back, boom, like Conor McGregor had knocking out Jose Aldo. I don't think we're going to see that one. I don't think he's going to run Du Plessis onto something when Du Plessis is charging forward. He's just going to have to get out the way. All right? Now, I could see Du Plessis missing big and Sean Strickland making him pay. I could see Sean Strickland getting Dricus Du Plessis to wind up like Adesanya against the fence when Adesanya was winding up with a big wing and hook and Strickland comes down the pipe and lands a right hand. I could see him hurting Du Plessis, or just eventually, after surviving the first couple of rounds, starting to be the guy to walk Du Plessis down as he takes a breath and he starts to reset like he was doing in front of Darren Till. Darren Till beat the shit out of Dricus Du Plessis in that second round, by the way. where Du Plessis was catching his breath. I could see that happening from Strickland, but Strickland will be put on the back foot. And again, he struggles with guys that mix it up. Dricus Du Plessis is going to mix in the takedowns. He won't have success. I don't think he'll have a lot of success with the grappling, but he'll just give Strickland another look. He'll go to the body with kicks, with knees, with punches. He has excellent body shots. He will charge forward with those blitzes, those 3 punch combinations, big wing and hooks. Eventually, one of those is getting through the guard. One of them is touching Strickland, and he will get knocked out. But as I said in the beginning of the video, it's all good for Sean Strickland's career because he is going to be a big star no matter what. He's already a fan favorite. All right. He has an inspirational story, and he's one of the most entertaining fighters on the mic. And who wouldn't want to see Sean Strickland trash-talking Izzy in a rematch? Who wouldn't want to see Sean Strickland fight Robert Whittaker after all the shit he's talked about Whittaker's style? And I think the UFC is going to realize the value that he brings to a pay-per-view, to a press conference. So, Sean Strickland, if he loses, it's all good. Dricus Du Plessis, if he loses, I can't say the same. I'm just saying I feel like he'll take the loss a little bit harder, where Strickland, fuck it, who cares? I've lost before, okay? But yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Dricus Du Plessis getting it done. That is my prediction. I wanted to make another video about this. I wanted to just solidify what my pick is, and I just wanted to make it clear that beating Robert Whittaker is more impressive than beating Adesanya. Again, when people fight Whittaker, they don't have close fights. They're not competitive. When people fight Adesanya, they're going tit for tat. They're maybe outstriking him. They're taking him down. Things are more competitive, all right? And Sean Strickland's output, let me just mention Sean Strickland's output one more time. Watch that fight with Adesanya. Beautiful knockdown in the first round. Excellent defense. All right, this man's defense is truly something that should be studied if you are an aspiring fighter. Really. There's something to be said about sparring all the time. That boxing pressure is ridiculous. But his output on the feet, I don't think it's enough to get the respect from a powerhouse like Dricus Du Plessis, man. I don't think it's enough. This guy is throwing 10 punches around. I remember watching that fight back, Izzy versus Strickland. Maybe it's the 3rd or 4th round. I think it was the 3rd because I know the 2nd round was very close. I was like, all right, this is a round Strickland wins. I remember the first 2 minutes, Strickland doesn't throw a punch. Now he's making Izzy miss. Izzy must have thrown maybe 15, 18 punches up until this moment where I'm having this thought. He's making Izzy miss, but I'm like, he's thrown like 1 or 2 punches. I don't think his offense, his output is enough to get that respect, man. And I think that Du Plessis is going to go unchecked in this matchup. I think he's going to get in Strickland's face. I think he's going to get in Strickland's face, and he's going to plant one on him. Boom! Big shot on the chin. Out cold, new champion. Izzy versus Du Plessis incoming. Sean Strickland taking the role of Nate Diaz. Until next time.